Announcement about Wallace Johnson, my former partner for email distribution. Trigger warning. Mentions of sexual misconduct, possible child sexual abuse materials and clergy abuse. Thank you for opening this important email. It is with sadness and soberness that I write it. From 2021 to 2023, I promoted, endorsed, partnered with, did events with, taught classes with and recommended author, podcaster, public speaker, minister, life coach, teacher and drum circle facilitator, Wallace Johnson aka Wally aka New Mystic aka Lord Wallace Johnson, to my family, friends, acquaintances, business and ministry contacts, fellow writers, virtually, through my email list, social media and in person. I do now revoke all endorsements or recommendations of Wallace Johnson for the reasons of moral failures in sexual, possibly illegal, misconduct, not becoming of a minister, leader, teacher, coach or public figure. The scope of Wallace's activities is local, regional, national and international to some extent. My endorsement of him had been at these levels, too, which is why you are receiving this email. Wallace's actions that I have direct knowledge of have been specifically, but not limited to, the following. Accessing teenage sex websites, possibly child sexual abuse materials, which is a felony. I discovered this on April 1st, 2023. I reported this to proper authorities. Touching the minor female in foster care in a rough grooming manner, which I believe was inappropriate. I witnessed this on 2 occasions with the same girl. I reported this to proper authorities. Threatening to kill my 3 dogs. I reported this to proper authorities. On March 13th, 2023, I spoke directly to Wallace about him touching the minor female. He insisted that I record this conversation, and I did so. On April 1st, 2023, I began a series of meetings with Wallace regarding the possible child sexual abuse materials I discovered on his device. In April and May 2023, I met with him 5 times privately, urging him to do the right things. In April, I met with him once with a Christian certified sex addiction therapist in Edmond, Oklahoma, and another time with a well-respected regional leader in the state of Oklahoma who knows Wallace. Wallace was instructed by this leader to step down from all ministry and leadership and to take appropriate steps. He did not do so at that time or any time since, to my knowledge. I also formed a group of people, trusted at the time, who were willing to confidentially help Wallace with these issues. At first he seemed open to this support, but he did not follow through with any of it to my knowledge. Beginning on May 12th, 2023, at Wallace's suggestion via email, I reached out to his pastor and mentor, Keith Runnels of Father's House Church and Apostolic Center in Edmond, Oklahoma, via email. I shared details of what I knew and I asked for a meeting with Keith Runnels to discuss further appropriate steps. May 12, 2023 was the last time I knowingly had direct contact with Wallace. Keith Runnels never replied directly to my email requests. Allegedly, he released Wallace Johnson into even more ministry in a public laying on of hands ceremony at Father's House Church in Edmond, OK, and sent him on ministry trips to Louisiana. Keith responded to my requests by publicly preaching against me by name to his church in May 2023, where he warned his people to have nothing to do with any messages they might receive from me. He publicly stated that he refused to deal with my emails. I was sent a recording of this message by someone who was there that day. This is clergy abuse and a refusal to properly investigate my claims of sexual misconduct and possible felony activities by Wallace Johnson, a leader in his church and his longtime mentee. I waited until December 2023 and then sent by mail another formal written request to meet with Keith Runnels to discuss the importance of Wallace being removed from all ministry and getting appropriate help. The letter has 25 named co-signers and a group of anonymous signers. It was also sent to about a dozen leaders, some known internationally, who know Wallace and or Keith. I was hoping that some of them would step in and take effective action. None of them did. I gave Keith Runnels a specific time period to reply. He never replied as of this date, October 28, 2024. This announcement to my email list is the next step, because I very publicly and passionately supported, recommended and promoted Wallace Johnson for 2 years, and because he has not responded rightly and because he is being protected by the leaders closest to him. My next step is to formally and publicly unendorse him in the same places where I endorsed and recommended him. I have been told that, since summer of 2023, Wallace has been closely connected to Dr. Adonijah Ogbenaya, Dr. O, who heads an international ministry, https://www.aactev8.com/. Dr. Ogbenaya was sent a letter in 2023 regarding these matters and he has responded to me with silence. 2 of the boards Wallace was on asked him to step down in 2023, however, a third board, Ecclesia Uprising, http://ekklesiauprising.org/leadership based in Brownwood, Texas and headed by Terry McDonald still shows Wallace on their board for their websites. I did speak with Mr. McDonald directly. While he was very respectful, it does not appear that he removed Wallace from their board. Wallace is also affiliated with Tomorrow's Kingdom Builders Academy, a Christian coach building organization. I spoke with them directly as well, but they were not transparent as to whether they would allow him to remain affiliated with them. https://www.kingdombuilders.academy/ Wallace has authored many books and has an author's listing on Amazon where he states that his reach and influence are international. I am told by others that he continues to travel the USA and internationally promoting his books and ministry. He has done 85 podcasts and has a University of the Mystics. He has now adopted the moniker Lord Wallace Johnson according to his Amazon listing, https://www.amazon.com/stores/author/B00J6Z6RGQ/about. At the time in 2023, Wallace was president of the Ross Heights Neighborhood Association in Oklahoma City and getting more involved with civic leadership. I do not know if he still is. I spoke with civic and nonprofit leaders with whom he was affiliated in the area as well. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you or someone you care about has been harmed by any kind of abuse, spiritual, clergy, narcissistic, sexual, financial, physical, etc., I have a resource list I have compiled for survivors as well as lists for sex addicts and or abusers who need help quitting. Just request it and I'll email it to you. I am also part of a group that helps people recover from trauma caused by various kinds of abuse. If you would like confidential information on this, please let me know. We are in a season where the sexual misconduct of leaders is being revealed in very public ways to greater degrees than I have ever seen before. For those they harm, in person or through virtual means, this is an answer to the anguished cries for help. The refusal to properly handle allegations of sexual misconduct is also being brought into the light, and in many states, it is now a crime to refuse to investigate when allegations are made, especially of potential felony behavior. If Wallace Johnson and Keith Runnels had responded properly, this email would have never been created. It has been over a year since I started this unwanted, painful and difficult journey. They have had plenty of time to do the right things and they have not. This is regrettable and possibly illegal, but most definitely un-Christ-like, showing an extreme lack of love and spiritual maturity for those who purport to be leaders in the church ecclesia. Silence is complicity. Thank you for reading this. With all seriousness, Ephesians 5:11. NLT Take no part in the worthless deeds of evil in darkness, instead, expose them.